Has your employer already told you that you do not qualify for statutory maternity pay and you're wondering what is going to be your fate after having your baby? Worry no further, because in this video we're going to be diving into maternity allowance. What exactly is maternity allowance? Who is eligible for maternity allowance? And how exactly do you claim this? So sit back and let's get right into it. My name is Chinenye Eze and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me, on this channel we talk about motherhood and navigating life in the UK, especially as an immigrant. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, consider subscribing to this channel because you will get a lot of very educative content to help you navigate life in the UK. Now, straight into it. What exactly is maternity allowance? Maternity allowance is the money that the government pays you after having your baby. So you could get up to £184.03 per week. And this is usually paid on a 2 to 4 week basis. Like it could be paid every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks, depending on whatever you have opted for. Now, who is eligible for maternity allowance? So some persons are working, they are currently employed, but for some reason or the other, their employer has already told them that they do not qualify for statutory maternity pay. Such persons might be eligible for maternity allowance. So you want to check. I'm going to leave the link for the maternity calculator in the description section. Do well to check to see if you are eligible for maternity allowance, because you never know, you just might have something for you. It might not be a £0 case, like, you get what I mean. So people who are working but do not qualify for statutory maternity pay, I can't say it right, statutory maternity pay, might qualify for maternity allowance. Some persons are self-employed and they have been paying their national insurance. They also might qualify for maternity allowance. Another category of people that might qualify for this is you might be self-employed and you have been contributing your national insurance. Also, you might also be unemployed, but maybe you recently just stopped working. You could also be working for your spouse in an unpaid job in his business, or you get what I mean. So those are the category of people that might qualify for maternity allowance. So you want to use the calculator to see where exactly you fall into. This maternity allowance is usually paid for up to 39 weeks, and you can apply for this as soon as you are 26 weeks pregnant. The earlier you apply for this, the better, because it does take time to process, so that you'll be able to get your pay, and you can start getting paid from the 11th week before your expected week of confinement. Now, you can get up to 39 weeks of maternity allowance if you have been self-employed for at least 26 weeks in the 66 weeks before your baby is due, or you have been employed for at least 26 weeks in the 66 weeks before your baby is due. This 66 weeks is what they usually call the test period. Don't worry, there's a calculator for it. So if you are not sure what is the whole 66 weeks thing, just use the link that I'll leave in the description and you'll be able to understand it. Or when we get to the point of claiming the maternity allowance, I'll talk more about it. Now, if you are employed, you must have at least earned £30 or more weekly for at least 13 weeks during the period when you were working, whilst in those 66 weeks period that I talked about. So that means that for that period that you worked, you must at least earn up to £30 or more for at least 13 weeks. So these 13 weeks now, it doesn't have to be like straight 13 weeks. It could have been that you worked this week and you didn't work next week, or you worked for 2 weeks and you didn't work for another 2 weeks. So it doesn't have to be like back-to-back 13 weeks, if you get what I mean. So they just want to see 13 weeks pay slip of you working and you earning at least £30 or more. How much exactly do you get for the maternity allowance? So if you are employed or you have recently stopped working, you can get up to £184.03 per week, or you could get 90% of your average weekly earning. So whichever one is less is the one they go for. So it's £184.03 per week, or your 90% of your average weekly earning. So if you are self-employed and you are paying your class 2 national insurance, then you'll be able to get between £30 to £184.03 per week. So this is what you are likely to get if you are registered as self-employed in the 66 weeks before your baby is due. And remember also that you get this for 39 weeks. So if you take the 52 weeks maternity leave, you can actually be paid for 39 weeks. All that you need to put in mind is that the last 13 weeks of your 52 weeks will be an unpaid leave. If you're self-employed, you might be able to get between £27 to £184.03 per week. So what you get basically depends on the class of national insurance or the amount of national insurance that you have been paying. For you to be able to get the £184.03 as a self-employed person, you must be able to meet these two categories. The first category is that you must have been registered with the HMRC for at least 26 weeks in the 66 weeks before your baby is due. And the second one which you need to meet is that you must have paid the class 2 national insurance for at least 13 weeks in the 66 weeks in which your baby is due. Once you're 26 weeks pregnant, you can apply for your maternity allowance. And basically what you need is that on the website, I'm going to put the link for you as well in the description. You basically go and download the maternity claim form. So you print it and you fill it. Otherwise, you can also download it on your system and fill it online and then print it out. Or if you cannot print it out and you cannot fill it online, you can just request it to be sent to you. And then after filling it, you send it to the address that is included in the form. Then you need some other documents to go along with it. You need your proof of income, and you also need a proof of due dates and the birth of your baby. So for the proof of income, you need your original pay slips, not photocopies, original pay slips. And for the proof of your baby's due date, you need your Mat B1 form, or you probably need a letter from your midwife or your GP. But I believe that most people will be able to have their Mat B1 form. And bear in mind, your Mat B1 form is not the photocopy, it's the original Mat B1 form. That's the one that you send. Now, for other documents that you might need to go along with this is your SMP1 form as well, because if your employer has if you're working, if you fall under the category of those that are working, and your employer has said that they are not going to pay you your statutory maternity pay, then you need the SMP1 form from them, and that's what you will need to send along. So proof of income, proof of your baby's due date, and also extra documents like the SMP1 form. If you watch this video to this point and you're getting value, what are you waiting for? Give this video a thumbs up, because it helps the YouTube to push it to other audience who would need this information. Now, in the UK, when you are on maternity leave, you are entitled to have up to 10 days keep in touch shift. So this 10 days shift is basically your way of adapting back to work when you finally go to work. So if you're on a maternity allowance, you are allowed to still have your 10 days keep in touch shift. Just bear in mind that after the 10th day, that's it, you're back to work. You are assumed to be back to work. And remember also to inform them about the keep in touch shift. So times when your circumstances change, there's a lot of information. I'm just going to leave it on the screen. When your circumstances change, you have to also inform them as well. Some people might also be wondering that if they applied for the maternity allowance and they were not granted, so there is opportunity for you to appeal this. So just go through the link in the description and you'll be able to understand better. I have done a detailed video on all about maternity pay in the UK. If you haven't seen that video, go and watch that video. It is a very detailed video and you'll be able to understand the step-by-step process and everything about maternity pay in the UK. I'm doing this video for a very special person who has requested for it in the comment section of my last video, so that's why I'm doing it. So shout out to you and hope you find this very useful. If you've got any question, kindly leave it in the comment section and I will do well to answer them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.